are used for inflammation, for all kinds of inflammation that the body can have. People with serious health issues like cancer, they give it for inflammation. However, it does a lot of bad things as well. So, the inflammation, it's temporary, okay? And you get swollen, you put on weight, you have water weight. That's just one little tiny thing.
From the steroids.
From the steroids itself.
Can we talk about inflammation? Inflammation, as I understand it, I'm not a doc, is designed to help the body heal. Isn't that what inflammation is?
It's designed to help to subdue or take away the inflammation. And that is, I feel, why most of them, most people are on it. And, nearly half, there was so many different indicators for the drug, and like for us, upper respiratory tract infections and spinal conditions, and so there's so many different things.
What I'd like to ask about is, what is inflammation itself, and aren't there natural ways of reducing inflammation, or do we need to reduce inflammation?
Right, you need to reduce inflammation. Inflammation is caused from an aggravation and toxicity in the body, and this stores in our tissues, in our joints, in our organs. And so it's something that is a part of most conditions, even athletes who maybe overdo it a little bit, and they exercise a lot more one day and they're on a tour. Their joints can get sore from inflammation. It can happen to anybody.
Weekend athlete syndrome.
And it also happens with certain foods. In other words, if you eat mucus-forming foods like dairy products, like milk products, that causes inflammation just on its own. And thus you see the importance when you are having a chronic health condition, you see the importance of not eating dairy.
Is there a difference between the kind of inflammation that an athlete or a weekend athlete, if you were to say, hey, Mark, Saturday, let's go hiking, I would probably
have to carry you back, right?
Yes, you would probably have to carry me back. There's no doubt. But if you were to, that kind of inflammation versus the inflammation caused by dairy.
The inflammation caused by dairy is quickly resolved, and even though it adds to the inflammation already in existence in your joints, in your organs, your sinuses, your throat, even though it adds to that, it can even create it as soon as you stop it, and you see a difference. So wow. It's an immediate thing. Dairy products. Yesterday I was talking to my CPA. He was supposed to come in, and he said, "Oh, I'm sick again with the flu, and they told me it's allergies." And I go, "Oh, what are you eating?" He said, "Well, does a pint of ice cream a day, does that have anything to do with it?" And I said, "Yeah, try the coconut ice cream and go down to a quarter of a pint." And just change, well, what about cheese? Well, yes. So he has inflammation in his sinuses and his throat and keeps getting infections in his throat. And it's all caused from inflammation, which is a big irritation to the body. And like you were saying, the inflammation that a weekend warrior would get is different than someone with a chronic health condition. Chronic health condition is chronic, so that the inflammation is chronic, and if you eat dairy, it's going to be harder to fix. So that's why using a deep cleanse, using a cleanse for the body, eliminating dairy, even animal products, if you have a chronic disease, is very important, as well as lay off the Twinkies, lay off of the Snickers, and excuse me for the name brands,
no,
but
it's all right.
All of the junk foods and that kind of thing,
The inflammation, though, caused by dairy, the Snickers, the sugar, all of those kinds of things, can you visually see it? Because I think, and I could be wrong, that if I have inflammation because I sprained my ankle, it's swollen. You can see that.
You can see it.
And what about the inflammation from the dairy and the foods?
You can see that as well. The body does swell.
It does.
The body does swell, maybe not so noticeable. It may not be around your joint. It may not be around your knee, but it could be internally, in your pancreas, in your liver, in your gallbladder, kidneys, etc. So it's very important that we eat an anti-inflammatory diet, especially if we have any health issues whatsoever. You know, kids who have tonsillitis, lay off of the dairy. Even tonsillitis can be drastically helped. Ice cream is the worst thing you could do.
That's what they give you after.
It's the worst thing you can do, ice cream. You could have something cold. You could have coconut ice cream, but not dairy ice cream. So I think the rule is whenever you have a health condition, not to eat dairy at all, because it is, for every human being, it's inflammatory.
Do you eat any dairy at all?
No.
None?
Zero.
Zero. I was at the Natural Products Expo West, and I tried, and I can't think of the brand name. It starts with a D, and they have a new product out. I love blue cheese. I love blue cheese. It's almost as good as chocolate, but I like dark chocolate, a little sugar.
Okay.
And I tasted this stuff. It was amazing.
Was it fake dairy?
It was a fake dairy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a lot of good ones out right now, and this one was like blue cheese, huh?
Yeah.
And tasted good.
It tasted good.
Good. Remember the brand on that? I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
I do eat that, but I found something really fantastic for all those people who are addicted to cream. You know how rich curries are, Thai curries. There's no dairy.
You and I had one a couple of weeks ago.
We did, and there's no dairy in it, but it's creamy like milk, but it's not milk. You can get that in the health food store, coconut cream, and you could use that instead of dairy whipped cream or any heavy cream, and love it. It's delicious.
It is. I like the taste of coconut, and even in those products, there's a slight taste of coconut, and some people don't like that. But hey, be healthy or not be healthy. This is Natural Health Radio with Dr. Teresa Dale, and I'm Mark Alyn. Let's go back and talk about how to fight inflammation and how the general medical community is fighting that with steroids.
Well, it's interesting. The research just continues to pour in, that it can actually create allergies, can create a bone density loss. It creates total toxicity and inflammation within itself, and it's so addictive that you have to wean, or you're supposed to wean off of it. So
is that all
prednisone, all steroids?
That's the one I was on, prednisone. It was awful, and I don't even remember why I was on it. Oh, I know why. I think I had bug bites. I just don't remember. It was and
they give it for inflammation, infection, that sort of thing, and you can find out if you're doing a blood test. You want to ask for a sedimentary rate, and that can give you some information to see if you have an infection. There's so many ways to determine if you have an infection, like Lyme disease. Then you don't need steroids for Lyme. You need to do a totally natural program for that can alleviate the symptoms, and these kind of things have been proven and studied in Europe for 200 years. So it's just that it may be a little new in the United States because the big pharmas have such a hold on our media. They have a hold on our media.
With autoimmune diseases popping up, are those used or steroids used to treat these autoimmune diseases?
Yes, oftentimes. For example, here's one that can be resolved without it, and you wouldn't think that when you listen. There's something called Hashimoto's disease.
Yes, it's becoming
and
more and more
Hashimoto's
prevalent.
disease is where the thyroid starts attacking itself. It's an autoimmune. It's an immune issue. It's not a thyroid issue. So they deal with it with thyroid meds. It's not a thyroid issue, right? It's an autoimmune issue. So the first thing to do is to look at the cause. Could it be mercury fillings in your mouth that's causing this autoimmune issue? What is the cause of the problem? And then you deal with it with natural herbs to detoxify the body. Okay, once you detoxify the body, the thyroid will get detoxed. I think the most, from all my many years of working in this profession, that mercury fillings are, to me, the leading cause of any thyroid condition I've ever seen. Either a person has had a thyroid problem for a long time and then they got them out, and maybe they were taken out incorrectly. You know, the way the dentists used to take it out in the beginning, they would let you swallow the mercury and you would inhale it, and that wasn't any good. Now the biological dentists do it safely so that...
They wear hazmat suits.
They wear hazmats, and they set you up so that you are not exposed any more than, you would have to be. So I would look at that for anybody's listening who has a thyroid issue. Consider having your mercury fillings replaced. That, I was talking to someone last week and they were saying, "Oh my goodness, do I have to have my teeth pulled out?" Well, I don't want to do that. I said, no. It's your fillings. Well, they drill them out or they laser them out, and then they replace it with a biocompatible substance.
And they make it biocompatible to you.
To your body.
To my body versus your body versus Daryl's body.
Right.
Everybody would be somewhat different.
Right.
That's really kind of interesting. Right. This is Natural Health Radio, and I wanted to talk to you about wellnesscenter.net. Wellnesscenter.net is a place that Dr. Teresa Dale has created. It's a source of information on health, how to remain healthy, how to be healthy, and if you have a problem, what to do about that problem. You have to visit wellnesscenter.net. Take a look at all of the articles, the audio programs, and the videos that Dr. Dale has put together. They're absolutely free, just for you and your family to be healthy, remain healthy, and to fight disease. wellnesscenter.net. Now, there's another part of wellnesscenter.net, and did you know what that is, Dr. Dale? I do.
There's another part. Well, you tell me.
Well, what you've done on this is you have actually created a number of products that people can purchase to help them from allergies
to everything that you can, almost everything you can think of, whether it's arthritis, rheumatism, whether you have deficiencies in iodine, or you've been exposed to radiation, or you have hormone issues. We have safe, natural, effective, FDA-registered homeopathic products. So each product is registered to the FDA. So it's considered a registered, legal, real homeopathic product.
And it's also, aren't many of the ingredients are featured in, I'm going to call it the pharmacopoeia of natural.
It's a pharmacopoeia. It's the homeopathic pharmacopoeia of the United States. And so those ingredients are in that. And, I think the thing about what I've done is to try to reach people wherever they're having issues in their life, however they are becoming more aware. I hope that this website brings awareness to people and answers to those who have been looking for solutions for a very long time, including children, parents.
And they have there's all kinds of information, and of course some really terrific products. The All Flu I have used, and once a month I take it, and it's working wonders. It really is good. So go to wellnesscenter.net, wellnesscenter.net, and find out more information about Dr. Teresa Dale there as well. Dr. Dale and I are talking here on Natural Health Radio about steroids, about oral steroids usage, and the serious risk that even short-term use.
And so some of those risks that I have been working with for years with people is the kidney. It causes kidney issues, kidney inflammation. It also, in a patient that I had more than one, but this one in particular comes to my mind, it disintegrated her bone structure. She got very much shorter. It just is not good for your bone structure to continuously take it. But she was on long-term use. Even short-term use can have significant side effects and damage the body. Long-term use can be cancer.
One of the things that I thought was just natural aging is that we do lose bone structure and that we do shrink. Now, I have not noticed that myself. And before Dr. Darrell says something about my size, yes, I am, I'm about 5'7", 5'8".
So he's really just saying that. He's like six. He's 6'4". Mark is 6'4".
Yes.
He was when I met him.
And I've lost 12 inches there. But isn't it, am I?
But
is
this is
misnomer?
massive disintegration of the bone structure, so that there was a 2-inch loss of bone in a year.
Oh my goodness.
So what I'm saying is I'm bringing to you, and I communicate all I can see is and I think about are the people who have really been on prednisone and all different types of corticosteroids. So even short-term use can leave its mark. First of all, the most important thing that I could tell you is that whenever you have a health condition and you suppress it, it will come back. It will come back. See, according to something called homotoxicology, which was invented by Dr. Hans Reckwick, obviously German or Austrian, I believe German, reading his books over the last 30 years, they have proven without a shadow of a doubt, this medicine in all other countries, that when you give a drug for a disease, it suppresses it. And diseases can go layers and layers through emotions in our body.
Right.
There are emotions involved. There are, it can suppress it for a very long time. And then
it comes back?
It comes back either in the same condition or it can move to another organ if you follow the 5-element theory of Chinese medicine. So there are 5 elements, and within those elements you have organs, systems, glands, and meridians, and those elements are connected and flow from one to the other. So if you suppress it in one, it could go to the other one. In other words, if you had a kidney issue,
right,
and you took prednisone or any drug, then kidneys could be fine, but you could get a severe bladder problem because they're in the same element.
Interesting.
It's just like when you have colon problems, when
right,
you have constipation, it could be that you have a lung issue because they're in the same element. So if you have bronchitis, oftentimes, or the cold or flu, you can have diarrhea, you can have constipation because they are connected in the 5-element theory of Chinese medicine, which is 2,000 years old and very accurate.
And connected, you mean by meridians?
By the elements and the meridians.
What are the elements?
They are very interesting, a good question.
Thank you.
It is the fire element, the water element, the earth element, the metal element, and the I'm missing one.
I put you on the spot.
No. I always seem to forget one of them. So we have fire, earth, water.
Okay.
And when we play the intro to this show, the water element is playing.
Got it. It's the music. I'm curious about how the meridians work. So everything is connected.
Mm-hmm.
I've had reflexology, for example,
right,
which I find really
wonderful,
effective,
relaxing,
very relaxing, especially when they stop because it can hurt. But they're right. And they're touching something, and if it hurts, there's a problem. It
doesn't hurt me, but when it does hurt, it could be that
you have a problem.
They have a problem. You
right,
have something there.
Right. So at the bottom of your foot, we'll use kidney again. and so
they're
they're
touching
connected.
colon
They're
and
touching
kidney
colon.
in different areas, and ovaries around the ankle, which you don't have any, thank God.
That
you wouldn't want them.
No, I wouldn't want them. No, thank you.
So, so what I'm saying is that the model of medicine that we use doesn't make sense, because you cannot treat a lung problem without considering the health of the colon. In other words, you could have pneumonia today, go in for a colonic, do a cleanse, and go in for a colonic tomorrow and be 50% better just from doing a colonic, because those two are connected in the 5-element theory. That is the metal element. The water element is kidney and bladder. The stomach element is very interesting. It's spleen, pancreas, so it's your immune system and your pancreas.
Right.
Okay, and also your stomach.
So if you have the flu, and everybody gets the flu, don't they? I mean, even when we're taking all flu, sometimes that virus just gets you.
There's a company that private labels that for health food stores and under a different name. And the person who is responsible for getting this product in has been taking it for 5 years and has never gotten the flu. I've never gotten the flu if I take it, every month. There's no reason to get it. It's like your body already has this within it. The only reason that, let's say you went on a caffeine binge, that has the possibility of wiping out any homeopathic remedy, but then all you do is you wait a couple of days, you take it again.
Got it.
That's all.
Got it. And it wipes it out. But if let's say somebody does get the flu, I mean, bed rest, lots of fluids, that kind of stuff. But what else would you recommend?
I would recommend the All Flu, taking it every 15 minutes, and in a couple of hours you'll feel better, you'll feel a difference, even if you already have it. And I would also recommend massive amounts of vitamin C, like, maybe 3,000, depending upon the person, maybe 5,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 milligrams to bowel tolerance, because this is the other thing, is when you start moving your bowels a lot, when you have the flu, it's going to get better.
Right.
Because those are connected.
And you're getting rid of the toxins, aren't you?
Right. So, and the other thing would be a vitamin D3, a natural one made from natural sources, not a synthetic. That would be very important. For sometimes people don't go out in the sun for a long time, and so they need vitamin C and vitamin D3, and it's extremely good for the immune system. And then there's also a phenomenal product that I have. One of the ingredients is fucoidan. Fucoidan is Fucoiden. Fucoidan is from brown seaweed. It's from Tonga. There's a country called Tonga.
Right.
Okay, so that we harvest brown seaweed from Tonga. It's virtually mercury-free waters. There's nothing there.
That's in the South Pacific.
Right. There's nothing there. There's no industry there. And so it's a brown seaweed, and there's a couple of papers that I have on how it's used for cancer. It's very powerful. So, and then, another thing for inflammation that's very good is MSM. And a lot of people know about MSM. But I would do, I have a product called biofilm, which is enzymes, but not enzymes specifically for digestion, powerful enzymes for handling serious conditions, like getting the biofilm out of your body, cleansing the biofilm. Biofilm is created by pathogens. So when we have pathogens in our body, those little guys just secrete biofilm, and it's like a cloaking device. It protects them from being killed. So we want to get the biofilm out. In any case of inflammatory response in the body, we want to detoxify biofilm. So that's in every single case.
This is Natural Health Radio with Dr. Teresa Dale. Hi, I'm Mark Alyn, and we are talking about steroid use, and we're not really going off on tangents, because steroids were created or developed to fight in inflammation, and Dr. Dale is giving some other recommendations on how to do that. I have a question for people listening, and that is, have you ever thought of a career in the health field? Daryl? No. Okay.
Well, I have something interesting. I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to just throw this in right now.
Sure.
We have a training called Neurophysical Reprogramming, and it's part of our holistic health practitioner training. And the acronym is just NPR. It's Neurophysical Reprogramming, and it's a wonderful protocol that I developed for finding the cause of any disease. In other words, there's an emotional cause to every disease. We can find it and release it permanently, and then also find any other causes to the disease, even if it's in the DNA. Now, that's a pretty strong claim to make. So what I did when I invented this back 1994, 5, 6, 7, many years, I was trying it on my patients and clients and everything, and so they were having really great success, and I went, wow, So I brought in to independent neurologist's office a group of patients, including a girl who was gang raped, and she was 12 years old. And so she had all of these, of course, normal fears and reactions and depression. And so what I did is we hooked them up to a 32 electrode EEG, KG, brain mapping, the whole thing, and I tested them. I gave them a stimulus to see the reaction in the brain mapping. So I would say to someone, do you remember when this happened? Think about your disease. Think about this happening. And if there was any kind of a memory there, it would show on the brain map. You would just see it going like crazy. Right. And you would see where it was. Okay, and I would do this with the patients, and then I would wait, till we were all done, and then I would do the neurophysical reprogramming on them. And then that took about 15 to 20 minutes because I just focused on the one thing. And then we tested after. We waited probably 15 minutes afterwards. They drank water, before the whole thing. And afterwards, when they did the brain mapping, that little girl had 0. There was nothing was registering.
Wow.
And so I asked
her. She was holding back.
She was holding on to it. And so,
as I can understand.
Of course. And so we know that from doing that and doing it with all those patients, we know that it works. And we know that I've taught doctors to do it themselves, and one doctor actually healed her own tumor. She had lymphoma. She had a little lymph tumor, and she didn't have it anymore, and that's all she did. So I know there are many amazing things out there that don't require a prescription.
Right. Well, and if you want to learn about neurophysical reprogramming, the name of the school to go is
www.cconm.com, or you can type in www.traditionalnaturopathy.com. Either way, you'll get to the same place. And then check out Holistic Health Practitioner Training under School Catalog. There's a few other courses there you might really like. And the neurophysical reprogramming is for somebody with a health background. That's our most advanced training. So if you have a health background, that is the one that you want.
And that's California College of Natural Medicine, right?
.com.
So that's cconm.com. cconm.com. And that's also, there are courses there that even lay people can take, are there not?
There is a course that I have 4 entry-level trainings that anybody can take, 4 of them. And one it's 2.5 years, almost a little over 2 years, and it's the clinical nutrition training, and then I have also the homeopathic medical practitioner training. Then we have the naturopathic practitioner training, and then we have the nutraceutical training, which could be for someone who just wants to learn about nutrition for their family. It's a much lighter course for someone who wants to have a career and be really good at what they do and learn how to evaluate blood testing using optimal reference ranges so they can see what nutritional needs the person has. Then they would want the clinical nutrition training.
Again, if you are interested, you go to the California College of Natural Medicine. That's cconm.com, cconm.com. Dr. Teresa Dale and I are talking about the effects of steroids, even in short-term use, oral steroids, and the serious risk that they bring. The information you found was on. Can we mention the website?
Yeah, it's Webscape, isn't it?
Medscape.
Medscape. I found it on Medscape.
Yeah,
and it's just an article, and it didn't really teach me anything new. I was looking, double checking to see if there's something that was a little bit new, but they may find that even short-term oral steroids carry serious risks, but we've known about it for 20 years or however long those things have been out, that there is risks. How do you know that? People get sick, they come back, they tell you, oh, my doctor put me on this, and I don't feel good. And so then when everybody starts doing that, you start getting the picture, hey, this isn't so good, just like hormones, way before they discovered that hormones cause cancer, way before that. In Germany, they said, no, you'll get cancer. They were right on it. This is in the 80s, the early 80s.
What about some of the side effects of, like, prednisone? One of those I remember is reading about is suicidal thoughts. I mean, you get very depressed on it.
You do, because it alters the neurotransmitters in your brain. You get depressed on it. You can have many different side effects, and from colon side effects to, just as I was saying earlier, kidney issues, swelling, affects the mind, can affect so many different things.
Can you see any condition that's well advanced that an oral steroid could be useful?
No. I think if it was an emergency and they were in the hospital working to save their life in a car accident or in something that was an emergency, use it if that's what it needs. Short term, then start weaning them off of it. But the weaning off doesn't happen as quickly as it should happen. So whatever they use that for, you can use nutrition, diet, herbs, supplements, homeopathy for it. And it's not like a one remedy fix. It's not like, oh, okay, well, you're stressed out, so take chamomile, homeopathic chamomile. Well, it'll work temporarily, but what you need to do is have a program so you learn how to deal with stress better, and so you get rid of any effects the stress could have had on the body.
Do you know what English novel talks about chamomile tea?
I forget. Tell me.
Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
At the tea party.
At the tea party.
And they used barley sugar.
Right.
Right? Thank you, Mr. Rifkin, 11th grade English Lit. Boy, isn't that funny?
It is. It's some of these things can bring us back to other times, of childhood and things like that. But these things, whether it's chamomile tea or chamomile homeopathic, it has a purpose. And let me talk to you about one other thing that's really important for inflammation.
Sure.
Do you know, centuries ago, 200 years, they've been using cannabis homeopathically to deal with it, the same thing that they're taking it for now. But the FDA won't let it be in health food stores. It's homeopathic. It has no substance in it. It's the energy from it. So it's in Homeopathic Materia Medicas. You can look it up. Cannabis. There's two different kinds, and there's it's used for many different health issues, mental issues, stress, pain, all the things that you would smoke marijuana for or take CBD for.
The CBD was just, I think we mentioned this on the show, was recently approved in England.
It's amazing.
For the treatment of epileptic seizures in children.
Right. It works all the time. It just is going to work. And I feel that it's a wonderful thing. I think it's a wonderful plant. I think it's a miraculous plant. Look at, you can have hemp milk, you can have hemp clothing, you can have hemp cream, salves, anywhere. What you have, hemp shampoo. I use a hemp shampoo.
Do you?
Yeah.
Hemp chips.
Hemp chips. There you go.
All right. I've had hemp chips. Daryl is...
he's not hemping.
He's not hemping there. He didn't... You know, I'm not a big chip eater. I eat them occasionally, and
I like organic popcorn.
Yeah, I like, that's okay. I'm just not a crunchy food guy. I had an apple this morning for breakfast. That was my breakfast.
That's good. That was good.
That was a good thing. And an apple a day brought the doctor today.
Right. Oh, cute. So the reality is, with the steroids, take another look if you're on them. If you know anyone on them, take a look and see what you can do that's natural. And once you do that, once you start cleansing with an herbal cleanse, once you start giving your body the proper nutrition that it needs, once you start working with a program for your problem, then whatever it may be, then you could start weaning yourself off of that.
In looking at steroids, if you're on them now, the procedure is to taper off because there can be problems with that. Would you agree that you need to taper off?
Yes, it could also taper off carefully. And, there's certain issues that can be caused, and you want to look at the body being more sensitive to fractures. You want to look at blood clotting, or you want to look at so many different things if you're on that. And I find that the testing they do to see if you're okay on it, I don't think that's good enough. I don't think they're doing like bone density tests every time, like often enough with these kinds of things. So I feel that non-users are, and with good programs, health programs, are going to get better twice as fast without any side effects whatsoever.
Does homeopathic supplements and products, do they take longer to work than allopathic drugs?
No, but it may be if your body isn't clean enough. So if your body's not, so you would detoxify and do a program where you're not doing homeopathy just by itself. You're doing it with nutrition, with cleansing, with food. You're doing a program all together so that it is going to support you in getting very quick results. And one of the things that I was not sure I really wanted to mention, but I could do it in a way that I think people would appreciate hearing about, is this week I spoke to the mom of a 10-year-old child who the doctor, he didn't have symptoms. He was maybe feeling a little bit dizzy here and there, and they took him in, did a CAT scan, then did an MRI, and then the doctor said, he's 10 years old, that you have a brain tumor and you're going to die. Now,
oh my God.
I want to know, on what dark side do they raise these, do they train these doctors on? I mean, how do you ever think that you should or are allowed, or that it's okay to talk to anyone like that, no less a 10-year-old child? And so he was told that you're going to die, you're 10, blah, 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 not finding out the cause, not looking at anything else. And so then they went to to a research center for children. I can't mention the name.
Right.
They were fed Oreos and ice cream for breakfast. And the research that was done was radiation and drugs, nothing natural. This organization researches only with traditional medicine and give the kids junk food to eat. So I say to you, and people listening, I want you to know this, because there is a darkness here going around that it has no hope. There's no hope. There's no God. There's no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
except
absolutely.
the doctor who thinks that they're God.
Right.
Right.
So if a doctor does a CAT scan or an MRI and finds a tumor, for example, can a naturopath, can a homeopathic physician help with that?
It depends on their level. If you can't just do one thing, you have to do the whole thing. And I would say the first question for me would be, how should a doctor handle it? And I would tell the patient, okay, we found this. It looks like this. Now you have options. Here's your options.
And
Period. Here's your options.
Right. I mean, I would, in that situation, I think you want a great doctor, first of all, but you want a Marcus Welby, to date myself, kind of personality who's holding your hand. I mean, I want them to be good. I want them to have graduated at the top of the class, but and this doesn't, I don't care if it's an MD, an ND, or a PhD, all of the above. I think they need to have some caring in them.
Right. Well, the thing is that to tell another human being that you have this, you're 10 years old, you're whatever, 15, 80, 90, and you're going to die, I mean, this is, instead of saying, okay, we found this is what it looks like, and you have options. Here are your options. There's this clinic in Mexico you can go to that does it naturally. There's this clinic in Germany. There's naturopaths. There's homeopaths. So decide and learn about it, and or give them research about it, hand them a document about it. But nothing like that is done. And so there's a control issue. And why do you think that is, Mark?
Money.
Okay, so yeah.
Was that fast enough?
Yeah.
Well, but I've told a story about a famous man. I won't mention his name, and his sister. They were both diagnosed within days of each other of having cancer, and he was very wealthy, very well known in Southern California, and offered his sister the opportunity to go to any oncologist anywhere she wanted to go. She said, I've made my decision. I'm going to the Indian medicine man. He charged me $39. She's still alive. He's dead.
Right. So the thing is that there's miraculous things that can be done. You have to find the right person. You have to look around, and whatever speaks to your heart. You know your body better than anyone. And I feel that as soon as you hear someone be negative like that with you, you get up and you walk out, because there's no hope there. There's no positivity there. You're just going to make your mind starts believing that you're going to die from cancer, and then your mind tells your body what to do.
It's got to be the hardest thing. I mean, if the I don't know how to address that. If I had to say to somebody, you have cancer, you've got a month left to live. I mean, I just can't imagine doing that. I can't. And that's, I would hope that it would be difficult for the doctor, even if they've done that 1,000 times.
And as you go through this, I think one of the most important things is to tell the patient and discuss the causes. Why do you have that? No discussion of causes was made. And so the discussion of causes could be things that they have found to cause brain stem pons, tumors, like radiation from your cell phones, like living near a cell tower, like on and on and on, to try to help the patient. That's the caring that needs to happen, is to try to help them figure out how they got it. And then have them decide how they want to treat it.
And the bottom line is just that, the caring about patients. And I'm sorry, I like that Marcus Welby kind of, it's called a bedside manner.
But that was a TV show, and that was an actor.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it was. But you know what I mean. We want somebody who at least pretends that he's going to care, or
actually really does care.
Yeah, we'd really rather have somebody who really, really does care. We just have a couple of minutes left of the show, and I wanted to talk about wellnesscenter.net. Wellnesscenter.net has a variety of free information for you on a wide variety of health issues and topics. Not only are there articles and blogs, but there are also audios and videos for you to peruse at your leisure at wellnesscenter.net. Now, in addition to the multitude of information that Dr. Teresa Dale has put on this spectacular website, there's also a store. And she's created a number of products that are designed to help you be and stay healthy. Visit wellnesscenter.net, wellnesscenter.net. Let's conclude our discussion on oral steroids.
I feel that we have discussed most of the things that are important. They give it for cancer, but more long-term, sometimes short-term. I would say that there's an epidemic of giving steroids, and that everybody listening, you need to get a plan for weaning off of it ASAP. Make sure that you take everything that you think that would be doing. You're taking natural enzymes, special enzymes for this purpose, hyaluronic acid, fucoidan, which is from extracted brown seaweed. So also you can take
Can you
silica.
take these while you're
You take them all together, everything together at once.
Right.
It's a program.
And as you do this detox, can you also be reducing your steroid level at the same time?
You do that. You wean off of it. Right. So we're almost done right now, and I hope you had a terrific week.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I did.
Yes, you.
I did.
Good.
I was in San Diego. I was in Florida. I had. I'm going to Philadelphia in a few weeks.
Nice.
I'm going to Oregon next week.
Oh, wonderful. So we
have
have
travel.
A lot of travel. So we want to thank you. You have to know that Mark Alyn is the host of Late Night Health, and you want to go to latenighthealth.com, and you want to check out Mark's shows as well. And for both of us, I think the last thing that I want to say is that we wish you the very best. Always stay tuned to the next show. How about you, Mark?
Absolutely. Thank you, Daryl Wayne, the insane one.
Thank you, the insane Daryl Wayne.